Joshua chapter 1. Now after the death of Moses the servant worker of He exists, it happened that He exists spoke to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses my servant worker is dead now, therefore arise, go over this Jordan, you and all this people group, to the land which I give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon, that have I given to you, as I said to Moses, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even to the great river, the river Euphrates, there will not any man be able to stand before you all the days of your life, as I was with Moses. So I will be with you, I will not fail you nor forsake you. Be strong and of a good inner thinking center, because to this people group will you divide for an inheritance the land which I swore to their fathers to give them. Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the instruction law, which Moses, my servant worker, commanded you. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that you may prosper wherever you go. This book of the instruction law will not depart out of your mouth, but you will meditate therein day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written therein, because then you will make your travel path prosperous, and then you will have good success. Have not I commanded you, be strong and of a good inner thinking center, be not afraid, neither be you dismayed, because He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, is with you wherever you go. Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people group, saying, Pass through the host, and command the people group, saying, Prepare you food, because within 3 days you will pass over this Jordan to go and to possess the land which He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, gives you to possess it. To the Reubenites and to the Gadites and to half the tribe of Manasseh spoke Joshua, saying, Remember the word which Moses the servant worker of He exists commanded you, saying, He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, has given you rest, and has given you this land. Your wives, your little ones, and your cattle will remain in the land which Moses gave you on the side Jordan. But you will pass before your brothers armed, all the mighty men of valor, and help them, until He exists, has given your brothers rest, as He has given you, and they also have possessed the land which He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, gives them. Then you will return to the land of your possession, and enjoy it, which Moses He exists servant worker gave you on this side Jordan toward the sunrise. They answered Joshua, saying, All that you command us we will do, and wherever you send us we will go, according as we listen to Moses in all things. So will we listen to you. Only He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, be with you as He was with Moses. Whoever he be that rebels against your command and will not listen to your words in all that you command him, he will be put to death. Only be strong and of a good inner thinking center. Joshua chapter 2. Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into a prostitute woman's house named Rahab, and lodged there. It was told the king ruler of Jericho, saying, Look, there came men in here tonight to the children of Israel, to search out the country. King ruler of Jericho sent to Rahab, saying, Bring forth the men that are come to you, which are entered into your house, because they be come to search out all the country. The woman took the 2 men and hid them, and said, Thus there came men to me, but I knew not from where they were. It happened about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Where the men went I do not know. Pursue after them quickly, because you will overtake them. But she had brought them up to the roof of the house, and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. The men pursued after them the travel path to Jordan, to the fords, and as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. Before they were laid down, she came up to them upon the roof. She said to the men, I know that He exists, has given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. Because we have heard how He exists, dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to the 2 king rulers of the Amorites that were on the other side Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you utterly destroyed. As soon as we had heard these things, our inner thinking centers did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man, because of you, because He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator. He is supreme authority, mighty Creator, in heaven above and in the land beneath. Now therefore I pray you, swear to me by He exists, since I have shown you trust, loyalty, that you will also show trust loyalty to my father's house and give me a true token, that you will save alive my father and my mother and my brothers and my sisters and all that they have, and deliver our life breaths from death. The man answered her, Our life breath for yours, if you utter not this our business, and it will be when he exists, has given us the land, that we will deal kindly and truly with you. Then she let them down by a cord through the window, because her house was upon the town wall, and she dwelt upon the wall. She said to them, Get you to the mountain, lest the pursuers meet you, and hide yourselves there 3 days, until the pursuers be returned, and afterward may you go your travel path. The men said to her, We will be blameless of this your oath which you have made us swear. Look, when we come into the land, you will bind this line of scarlet thread in the window, which you let us down by it. You will bring your father and your mother and your brothers, and all your father's household home to you. It will be that whoever will go out of the doors of your house into the street, his blood will be upon his head, and we will be guiltless. And whoever will be with you in the house, his blood will be on our head, if any hand be upon him. If you utter this our business, then we will be released from your oath which you have made us swear. She said, According to your word, so be it. And she sent them away, and they departed. And she bound the scarlet line in the window. They went and came to the mountain, and stayed there 3 days, until the pursuers were returned. And the pursuers sought them throughout all the travel path, but found them not. So the 2 men returned and descended from the mountain, and passed over, and came to Joshua the son of Nun, and told him all things that befell them. They said to Joshua, Truly he exists, has delivered into our hands all the land, because even all the inhabitants of the country do faint because of us. Joshua chapter 3. Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim, and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. It happened after 3 days that the officers went through the host. They commanded the people group, saying, When you see the ark of the binding agreement of he exists, your supreme authority, mighty creator, and the serving leaders, the Levites, bearing it, then you will remove from your place and go after it. Yet there will be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near to it, that you may know the travel path by which you must go, because you have not passed this travel path before. Joshua said to the people group, Set yourselves apart, because tomorrow he exists will do wonders among you. Joshua spoke to the serving leaders, saying, Take up the ark of the binding agreement and pass over before the people group. And they took up the ark of the binding agreement and went before the people group. He exists said to Joshua, This day will I begin to magnify you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. You will command the serving leaders that bear the ark of the binding agreement, saying, When you are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, you will stand still in Jordan. Joshua said to the children of Israel, Come here, and hear the words of you exists, your supreme authority, mighty creator. Joshua said, Hereby you will know that the living supreme authority, mighty creator, is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Hivites, and the Perizzites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Jebusites. Look, the ark of the binding agreement of the master authority of all the land passes over before you into Jordan. Now therefore take you 12 men out of the tribes of Israel, out of every tribe a man. It will come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the serving leaders that bear the ark of he exists master authority of all the land will rest in the waters of Jordan, that the waters of Jordan will be cut off from the waters that come down from above, and they will stand upon a heap. It happened, when the people group removed from their tents to pass over Jordan, and the serving leaders bearing the ark of the binding agreement before the people group, as they that bore the ark were come to Jordan, and the feet of the serving leaders that bore the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, because Jordan overflows all his banks all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap very far from the city Adam, that is beside Zaraton, and those that came down toward the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people grew passed over opposite Jericho. The serving leaders that bore the ark of the binding agreement of he exists stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people group were passed clean over Jordan. Joshua chapter 4. It happened, when all the people group were clean passed over Jordan, that it exists spoke to Joshua, saying, Take you 12 men out of the people group, out of every tribe a man. Command you them, saying, Take from here out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the serving leaders' feet stood firm, 12 stones, and you will carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where you will lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel, out of every tribe a man. Joshua said to them, Pass over before the ark of He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, into the midst of Jordan, and take you up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? Then you will answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the binding agreement of He exists. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off. And these stones will be for a memorial to the children of Israel forever. The children of Israel did so, as Joshua commanded, and took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, as He exists spoke to Joshua, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them to the place where they lodged, and laid them down there. Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the serving leaders which bore the ark of the binding agreement stood, and they are there to this day. The serving leaders which bore the ark stood in the midst of Jordan, until everything was finished that He exists commanded Joshua to speak to the people group, according to all that Moses commanded Joshua, and the people group hurried and passed over. It happened, when all the people group were clean passed over, that the ark of He exists passed over, and the serving leaders in the presence of the people group, the children of Reuben and the children of Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spoke to them. About 40,000 prepared for war passed over before He exists to battle to the plains of Jericho. On that day He exists magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life. He exists spoke to Joshua, saying, Command the serving leaders that bear the ark of the testimony that they come up out of Jordan. Joshua therefore commanded the serving leaders, saying, Come you up out of Jordan. It happened, when the serving leaders that bore the ark of the binding agreement of He exists were come up out of the midst of Jordan, and the soles of the serving leaders' feet were lifted up to the dry land, that the waters of Jordan returned to their place, and flowed over all his banks, as they did before. The people group came up out of Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and encamped in Gilgal in the east border of Jericho. Those 12 stones which they took out of Jordan did Joshua set up in Gilgal. He spoke to the children of Israel, saying, When your children will ask their fathers in time to come, saying, What mean these stones? Then you will let your children know, saying, Israel came over this Jordan on dry land, because He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, dried up the waters of Jordan from before you until you were passed over, as He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, did to the Red Sea, which He dried up from before us until we were gone over, that all the people groups of the land might know the hand of He exists, that it is mighty, that you might fear He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, forever. Joshua chapter 5. It happened, when all the king rulers of the Amorites which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the king rulers of the Canaanites which were by the sea, heard that He exists had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel, until we were passed over, that their inner thinking center melted, neither was their life breath in them any more, because of the children of Israel. At that time He exists said to Joshua, Make you sharp knives, and circumcise again the children of Israel the second time. Joshua made him sharp knives, and circumcised the children of Israel at the hill of foreskins. This is the cause why Joshua did circumcise all the people that came out of Egypt, that were males, even all the men of war died in the wilderness by the travel path after they came out of Egypt. Now all the people that came out were circumcised, but all the people that were born in the wilderness by the travel path, as they came forth out of Egypt, them they had not circumcised, because the children of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness, until all the people that were men of war which came out of Egypt were consumed, because they listened not to the voice of He exists, to whom He exists swore that He would not show them the land which He exists swore to their fathers, that He would give us a land that flows with milk and honey. Their children whom he raised up in their place them Joshua circumcised, because they were uncircumcised, because they had not circumcised them by the travel path. It happened when they had done circumcising all the people that they stayed in their places in the camp until they were whole. He exists said to Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Therefore the name of the place is called Gilgal to this day. The children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on the 14th day of the month at evening in the plains of Jericho. They did eat of the old grain of the land on the next day after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched grain in the same day. The manna ceased on the next day after they had eaten of the old grain of the land, neither had the children of Israel manna any more. But they did eat of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year. It happened when Joshua was by Jericho that he lifted up his eyes and looked, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, Are you for us or for our adversaries? He said, No, but as captain of the host of he exists am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the land and bowed down and said to him, What says my master authority to his servant worker? The captain of he exists host said to Joshua, Loose your shoe from off your foot, because the place where you stand is set apart. And Joshua did so. Joshua chapter 6. Now Jericho was tightly shut up. Because of the children of Israel none went out and none came in. You exist said to Joshua, See, I have given into your hand Jericho, and the king ruler thereof, and the mighty men of valor. You will compass the city, all you men of war, and go around the city once. Thus will you do 6 days. 7 serving leaders will bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and the 7th day you will compass the city 7 times, and the serving leaders will blow with the trumpets. It will come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people group will shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people group will ascend up every man straight before him. Joshua the son of Nun called the serving leaders and said to them, Take up the ark of the binding agreement, and let 7 serving leaders bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of he exists. He said to the people group, Pass on and compass the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of he exists. It happened when Joshua had spoken to the people group that the 7 serving leaders bearing the 7 trumpets of ram's horns passed on before he exists, and blew with the trumpets, and the ark of the binding agreement of he exists followed them. The armed men went before the serving leaders that blew with the trumpets, and the rear guard came after the ark, the serving leaders going on and blowing with the trumpets. Joshua had commanded the people group, saying, You will not shout nor make any noise with your voice, neither will any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I tell you to shout, then will you shout. So the ark of he exists compassed the city going about it once, and they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. Joshua rose early in the morning, and the serving leaders took up the ark of he exists. 7 serving leaders bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of he exists went on continually and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them. But the rear guard came after the ark of he exists, the serving leaders going on and blowing with the trumpets. The 2nd day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. It happened on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. It happened at the 7th time when the serving leaders blew with the trumpets, Joshua said to the people group, Shout, because he exists has given you the city. The city will be devoted, even it, and all that are therein to he exists. Only Rahab the prostitute will live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. You in any wise keep yourselves from the devoted thing, lest you make yourselves devoted when you take of the devoted thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse, and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of bronze and iron are set apart to he exists. They will come into the treasury of he who exists. So the people group shouted when the serving leaders blew with the trumpets. It happened when the people group heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people group shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people group went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. They utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword. Joshua said to the 2 men that had spied out the country, Go into the prostitute woman's house, and bring out from there the woman, and all that she has, as you swore to her. The young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father, and her mother, and her brothers, and all that she had, and they brought out all her kindred, and left them outside the camp of Israel. They burned the city with fire, and all that was therein, only the silver and the gold, and the vessels of bronze and of iron, they put into the treasury of the house of Evildoers. Joshua saved Rahab the prostitute alive, and her father's household, and all that she had, and she dwells in Israel even to this day, because she hid the messengers which Joshua sent to spy out Jericho. Joshua charged them at that time, saying, Cursed be the man before he exists that rises up and builds this city Jericho. He will lay the foundation thereof in his firstborn, and in his youngest son will he set up the gates of it. So he exists was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the land. Joshua chapter 7. But the children of Israel committed a wrong step in the devoted thing, because Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, took of the devoted thing, and the anger of Evildoers was kindled against the children of Israel. Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-aven on the east side of Bethel, and spoke to them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. They returned to Joshua and said to him, Let not all the people group go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and strike Ai, and make not all the people group to labor there, because they are but few. So there went up from there of the people group about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. The men of Ai struck of them about 36 men, because they chased them from before the gate even to Shebarim, and struck them in the going down there, for the inner thinking center of the people group melted and became as water. Joshua tore his clothes, and fell to the land upon his face before the ark of Evildoers until evening, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads. Joshua said, Alas, O Evildoers, supreme authority, mighty creator, why have you at all brought this people group over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to the supreme authority, mighty creator, we had been content, and dwelt on the other side Jordan. O master authority, what will I say when Israel turns their backs before their enemies? Because the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land will hear of it, and will surround us, and cut off our name from the land. And what will you do to your great name? Evildoers said to Joshua, Get you up, why lie you thus upon your face? Israel has did wrong, and they have also transgressed my binding agreement, which I commanded them, because they have even taken of the devoted thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were devoted. Neither will I be with you any more, except you destroy the devoted thing from among you. Get up, set apart the people group, and say, Set yourselves apart against tomorrow, because thus says he exists, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel. There is a devoted thing in the midst of you, O Israel. You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the devoted thing from among you. In the morning therefore you will be brought according to your tribes, and it will be that the tribe which Evildoers takes will come according to the families thereof, and the family which Evildoers will take will come by households, and the household which Evildoers will take will come man by man. It will be that he that is taken with the devoted thing will be burned with fire, he and all that he has, because he has transgressed the binding agreement of Evildoers, and because he has wrought folly in Israel. So Joshua rose up early in the morning, and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken. He brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. He brought his household man by man, and Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah was taken. Joshua said to Achan, My son, give, I pray you, honor to Evildoers, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, and make confession to him, and tell me now what you have done, hide it not from me. Achan answered Joshua, and said, Indeed, I have did wrong against Evildoers, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them. And look, they are hid in the land, in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it, Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and look, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. They took them out of the midst of the tent, and brought them to Joshua, and to all the children of Israel, and laid them out before he exists. Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them to the valley of Achor. Joshua said, Why have you troubled us? He exists will trouble you this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. They raised over him a great heap of stones to this day. So he exists turned from the fierceness of his anger there, for the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor to this day. Joshua chapter 8. He exists said to Joshua, Fear not, neither be you dismayed. Take all the people of war with you, and arise, go up to Ai. See, I have given into your hand the king ruler of Ai, and his people group, and his city and his land. You will do to Ai and her king ruler as you did to Jericho and her king ruler, only the spoil thereof and the cattle thereof will you take for a prey to yourselves. Lay you an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose, and all the people of war to go up against Ai. And Joshua chose out 30,000 mighty men of valor, and sent them away by night. He commanded them, saying, Look, you will lie in wait against the city, even behind the city. Go not very far from the city, but be you all ready. I and all the people that are with me will approach to the city. And it will come to pass, when they come out against us as at the first, that we will flee before them, because they will come out after us till we have drawn them from the city. Because they will say they flee before us as at the first, therefore we will flee before them. Then you will rise up from the ambush and seize upon the city, because he exists, your supreme authority, mighty creator, will deliver it into your hand. It will be, when you have taken the city, that you will set the city on fire according to the command of he exists will you do. See, I have commanded you. Joshua therefore sent them, and they went to lie in ambush, and stayed between Bethel and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged that night among the people group. Joshua rose up early in the morning, and numbered the people group, and went up he and the elders of Israel before the people group to Ai. All the people, even the people of war, that were with him, went up and drew near, and came before the city, and pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai. He took about 5,000 men, and set them to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. They set the people, even all the host that was on the north of the city, and their ambush on the west of the city. And Joshua went that night into the midst of the valley. It happened, when the king ruler of Ai saw it, that they hurried, and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel to battle, he and all his people, at a time appointed before the plain. But he did not know that there were liers in ambush against him behind the city. Joshua and all Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and fled by the travel path of the wilderness. All the people that were in Ai were called together to pursue after them, and they pursued after Joshua, and were drawn away from the city. There was not a man left in Ai or Bethel that went not out after Israel, and they left the city open, and pursued after Israel. He exists said to Joshua, Stretch out the spear that is in your hand toward Ai, because I will give it into your hand. And Joshua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city. The ambush arose quickly out of their place, and they ran as soon as he had stretched out his hand. And they entered into the city, and took it, and hurried, and set the city on fire. When the men of Ai looked behind them, they saw, and look, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven, and they had no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness turned back upon the pursuers. Joshua and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city ascended. Then they turned again, and struck the men of Ai. The others came out of the city against them, so they were in the midst of Israel, some on this side, and some on that side. And they struck them, so that they let none of them remain or escape. The king ruler of Ai they took alive, and brought him to Joshua. It happened, when Israel had made an end of killing all the inhabitants of Ai in the field in the wilderness, where they chased them, and when they were all fallen on the edge of the sword, until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned to Ai, and struck it with the edge of the sword. All that fell that day, both of men and women, were 12,000, even all the men of Ai. Joshua did not draw back his hand wherewith he stretched out the spear, until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants of Ai. Only the cattle and the spoil of that city Israel took for a prey to themselves according to the word of He exists, which he commanded Joshua. Joshua burned Ai and made it a heap forever, even a desolation to this day. The king ruler of Ai he hanged on a tree until evening, and as soon as the sun was down Joshua commanded that they should take his carcass down from the tree and cast it at the entering of the gate of the city, and raise thereon a great heap of stones that remains to this day. Then Joshua built an altar to He exists, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, in Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant worker of He exists commanded the children of Israel, as it is written in the book of the instruction law of Moses, an altar of whole stones over which no man has lifted up any iron, and they offered thereon burnt offerings to He exists, and sacrificed peace offerings. He wrote there upon the stones a copy of the instruction law of Moses, which he wrote in the presence of the children of Israel. All Israel and their elders and officers and their judges stood on this side the ark, and on that side before the serving leaders the Levites, which bore the ark the binding agreement of He exists, as well the stranger as he that was born among them, half of them over against Mount Gerizim, and half of them over against Mount Ebal, as Moses the servant worker of He exists had commanded before, that they should bless the people group of Israel. Afterward he read all the words of the instruction law, the blessing and the curse according to all that is written in the book of the instruction law. There was not a word of all that Moses commanded, which Joshua read not before all the congregation of Israel, with the women, and the little ones, and the strangers, that were conversant among them. Joshua chapter 9. It happened, when all the king rulers, which were on this side Jordan, in the hills, and in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea opposite Lebanon, the Hittite, and the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite heard of it, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. When the inhabitants of Gibeon heard what Joshua had done to Jericho and to Ai, they did work craftily, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their donkeys, and wine bottles old and torn and bound up, old shoes and patched upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provision was dry and moldy. They went to Joshua to the camp at Gilgal, and said to him and to the men of Israel, We are come from a far country, now therefore make you a binding agreement with us. The men of Israel said to the Hivites, Perhaps you dwell among us, and how will we make a binding agreement with you? They said to Joshua, We are your servant workers. And Joshua said to them, Who are you, and from where do you come? They said to him, From a very far country your servant workers are come, because of the name of He exists, your supreme authority, mighty creator, because we have heard the fame of Him, and all that He did in Egypt, and all that He did to the two king rulers of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, to Sihon king ruler of Heshbon, and to Og king ruler of Bashan, which was at Asheroth. Therefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spoke to us, saying, Take provision with you for the travel path, and go to meet them, and say to them, We are your servant workers, therefore now make you a binding agreement with us. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we came forth to go to you. But now look, it is dry, and it is moldy. These bottles of wine which we filled were new, and look, they be torn, and these our garments and our shoes are become old by reason of the very long travel path. The men took of their provisions, and did not ask counsel at the mouth of He exists. Joshua made peace with them, and made a binding agreement with them to let them live, and the rulers of the congregation swore to them. It happened at the end of 3 days after they had made a binding agreement with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. The children of Israel journeyed and came to their cities on the 3rd day. Now their cities were Gibeon, and Chephirah, and Beeroth, and Kirjath-jearim. The children of Israel struck them not, because the rulers of the congregation had sworn to them by He exists, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, and all the congregation murmured against the rulers. All the rulers said to all the congregation, We have sworn to them by He exists, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. This we will do to them, we will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us, because of the oath which we swore to them. The rulers said to them, Let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water to all the congregation, as the rulers had promised them. Joshua called for them, and he spoke to them, saying, Why have you beguiled us, saying, We are very far from you, when you dwell among us? Now therefore you are cursed, and there will none of you be freed from being servant workers, and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my supreme authority, mighty Creator. They answered Joshua and said, because it was certainly told your servant workers how that he who exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, commanded his servant worker Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land from before you. Therefore we were very afraid of our life breaths because of you, and have done this thing. Now look, we are in your hand, as it seems good and right to you to do to us do. So he did to them, and delivered them out of the hand of the children of Israel, that they did not slay them. Joshua made them that day hewers of wood and drawers of water for the congregation and for the altar of who exists even to this day in the place which he should choose. Joshua chapter 10. It happened when Adonijah, the king ruler of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai, and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king ruler, so he had done to Ai and her king ruler, and how the inhabitants of Jibon had made peace with Israel and were among them, that they feared greatly, because Jibon was a great city, as one of the royal cities, and because it was greater than Ai, and all the men thereof were mighty. Therefore Adonijah, king ruler of Jerusalem, sent to Hoham, king ruler of Hebron, and to Param, king ruler of Jarmuth, and to Japhia, king ruler of Lachish, and to Debir, king ruler of Eglon, saying, Come up to me and help me, that we may strike Jibon, because it has made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel. Therefore the 5 king rulers of the Amorites, the king ruler of Jerusalem, the king ruler of Hebron, the king ruler of Jarmuth, the king ruler of Lachish, the king ruler of Eglon, gathered themselves together, and went up, they and all their hosts, and encamped before Jibon, and made war against it. The men of Jibon sent to Joshua to the camp to Gilgal, saying, Do not slack your hand from your servant workers, come up to us quickly and save us, and help us, because all the king rulers of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. The Exists said to Joshua, Fear them not, because I have delivered them into your hand, there will not a man of them stand before you. Joshua therefore came to them suddenly, and went up from Gilgal all night. The Exists troubled them before Israel, and struck them with a great slaughter at Jibon, and chased them along the travel path that goes up to Beth-horon, and struck them to Azekah, and to Makkedah. It happened, as they fled from before Israel, and were in the going down to Beth-horon, that the Exists cast down great stones from heaven upon them to Azekah, and they died. They were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel killed with the sword. Then Joshua spoke to he Exists in the day when he Exists delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said, In the sight of Israel, sun stand still upon Jibon, and you moon in the valley of Ajalon. The sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people group had avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hurried not to go down about a whole day. There was no day like that before it or after it, that he Exists listened to the voice of a man, because he Exists fought for Israel. Joshua returned, and all Israel with him, to the camp to Gilgal. But these 5 king rulers fled and hid themselves in a cave at Makkedah. It was told Joshua, saying, The 5 king rulers are found hidden in a cave at Makkedah. Joshua said, Roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it to keep them. Stay not you, but pursue after your enemies, and strike the hindmost of them, suffer them not to enter into their cities, because he Exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, has delivered them into your hand. It happened when Joshua and the children of Israel had made an end of killing them with a very great slaughter till they were consumed, that the rest which remained of them entered into fenced cities. All the people group returned to the camp to Joshua at Makkedah in peace. None moved his tongue against any of the children of Israel. Then said Joshua, Open the mouth of the cave, and bring out those 5 king rulers to me out of the cave. They did so, and brought forth those 5 king rulers to him out of the cave, the king ruler of Jerusalem, the king ruler of Hebron, the king ruler of Jarmuth, the king ruler of Lachish, and the king ruler of Eglon. It happened when they brought out those king rulers to Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said to the captains of the men of war which went with him, Come near, put your feet upon the necks of these king rulers. And they came near, and put their feet upon the necks of them. Joshua said to them, Fear not, nor be dismayed, be strong, and of good inner thinking center, because thus will he exists due to all your enemies against whom you fight. Afterward Joshua struck them and killed them and hanged them on 5 trees, and they were hanging upon the trees until the evening. It happened at the time of the going down of the sun that Joshua commanded, and they took them down off the trees and cast them into the cave, where they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, which remain until this very day. The day Joshua took Makkedah and struck it with the edge of the sword, and the king ruler thereof he utterly destroyed them, and all the life breaths that were therein he let none remain. And he did to the king ruler of Makkedah as he did to the king ruler of Jericho. Then Joshua passed from Makkedah and all Israel with him to Libnah, and fought against Libnah. He exists delivered it also, and the king ruler thereof into the hand of Israel, and he struck it with the edge of the sword, and all the life breaths that were therein he let none remain in it, but did to the king ruler thereof as he did to the king ruler of Jericho. Joshua passed from Libnah, and all Israel with him to Lachish, and encamped against it, and fought against it. He exists delivered Lachish into the hand of Israel, which took it on the 2nd day, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and all the life breaths that were therein according to all that he had done to Libnah. Then Horam king ruler of Jezer came up to help Lachish, and Joshua struck him and his people until he had left him none remaining. Joshua passed from Lachish and all Israel with him to Eglon, and they encamped against it, and fought against it. They took it on that day, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and all the life breaths that were therein he utterly destroyed that day according to all that he had done to Lachish. Joshua went up from Eglon, and all Israel with him to Hebron, and they fought against it. They took it and struck it with the edge of the sword, and the king ruler thereof, and all the cities thereof, and all the life breaths that were therein he left none remaining according to all that he had done to Eglon, but destroyed it utterly, and all the life breaths that were therein. Joshua returned, and all Israel with him to Debir, and fought against it. He took it, and the king ruler thereof, and all the cities thereof, and they struck them with the edge of the sword, and utterly destroyed all the life breaths that were therein he left none remaining, as he had done to Hebron, so he did to Debir, and to the king ruler thereof, as he had done also to Libnah, and to her king ruler. So Joshua struck all the country of the hills, and of the south, and of the valley, and of the springs, and all their king rulers he left none remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed, as he exists supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, commanded. Joshua struck them from Barnea even to Gaza, and all the country of Goshen even to Jivon. All these king rulers and their land did Joshua take at one time, because he exists supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, fought for Israel. Joshua returned, and all Israel with him to the camp to Gilgal. Joshua chapter 11. It happened, when Jabin king ruler of Hazor had heard those things, that he sent to Jobab king ruler of Madon, and to the king ruler of Shimron, and to the king ruler of Achaph, and to the king rulers that were on the north of the mountains and of the plains south of Cheroth, and in the valley and in the borders of Dor on the west, and to the Canaanite on the east and on the west, and to the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Jebusite in the mountains, and to the Hivite under Hermon in the land of Mizpeh. They went out, they and all their hosts with them, much people, even as the sand that is upon the seashore, in multitude, with horses and chariots very many. When all these king rulers were met together, they came and pitched together at the waters of Merom to fight against Israel. He exists said to Joshua, Be not afraid because of them, because tomorrow about this time will I deliver them up all slain before Israel. You will hoe their horses and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua came, and all the people of war with him against them by the waters of Merom suddenly, and they fell upon them. He exists delivered them into the hand of Israel, who struck them, and chased them to Great Sidon, and to Misrephothmaim, into the valley of Mizpeh eastward, and they struck them until they left them none remaining. Joshua did to them as he exists told him. He hoed their horses and burned their chariots with fire. Joshua turned back at that time, and took Hazor, and struck the king ruler thereof with the sword, because Hazor before a time was the head of all those kingdom rules. They struck all the life breaths that were therein with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying them. There was not any left to breathe, and he burned Hazor with fire. All the cities of those king rulers and all the king rulers of them did Joshua take, and struck them with the edge of the sword, and he utterly destroyed them as Moses the servant worker of He exists commanded. But as for the cities that stood still in their strength, Israel burned none of them except Hazor only, that did Joshua burn. All the spoil of these cities and the cattle the children of Israel took were a prey to themselves. But every man they struck with the edge of the sword until they had destroyed them, neither left they any to breathe. As He exists commanded Moses his servant worker, so did Moses command Joshua, and so did Joshua. He left nothing undone of all that He exists commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hills and all the south country and all the land of Goshen, and the valley and the plain and the mountain of Israel and the valley of the same, even from the Mount Halak that goes up to Seir, even to Baalgad and the valley of Lebanon under Mount Hermon. And all their king rulers he took, and struck them and killed them. Joshua made war a long time with all those king rulers. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Jibon. All others they took in battle, because it was of He exists to harden their inner thinking centers, that they should come against Israel in battle, that He might destroy them utterly, and that they might have no favor, but that He might destroy them as He exists commanded Moses. At that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountains, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the mountains of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was none of the Anakims left in the land of the children of Israel, only in Gaza and Gath and in Ashdod there remained. So Joshua took the whole land according to all that He exists said to Moses, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel according to their divisions by their tribes, and the land rested from war. Joshua chapter 12. Now these are the king rulers of the land, which the children of Israel struck, and possessed their land on the other side Jordan toward the sunrise, from the river Arnon to Mount Hermon and all the plain on the east. Sihon king ruler of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon, and ruled from Aroer, which is upon the bank of the river Arnon, and from the middle of the river, and from half Gilead even to the river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon, and from the plain to the sea of Chinneroth on the east, and to the sea of the plain, even the salt sea on the east, the travel path to Beth Tishimoth, and from the south under Ashtath-Biscah, the coast of Og king ruler of Bashan, which was of the remnant of the giants that dwelt at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and reigned in Mount Hermon, and in Salcah, and in all Bashan, to the border of the Jeshurites and the Machathites, and half Gilead, the border of Sihon king ruler of Heshbon. Them did Moses the servant worker of He exists, and the children of Israel strike. And Moses the servant worker of He exists gave it for a possession to the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half-tribe of Manasseh. These are the king rulers of the country, which Joshua and the children of Israel struck on this side Jordan, on the west from Baalgad, in the valley of Lebanon, even to Mount Halak that goes up to Seir, which Joshua gave to the tribes of Israel for a possession according to their divisions, in the mountains and in the valleys and in the plains and in the springs, and in the wilderness and in the south country, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The king ruler of Jericho won, the king ruler of Ai, which is beside Bethel won. The king ruler of Jerusalem won, the king ruler of Hebron won. The king ruler of Jarmuth won, the king ruler of Lachish won. The king ruler of Eglon won, the king ruler of Jezer won. The king ruler of Debir won, the king ruler of Jeddah won. The king ruler of Hormah won, the king ruler of Arad won. The king ruler of Libnah won, the king ruler of Adullam won. The king ruler of Makkedah won, the king ruler of Bethel won. The king ruler of Tappuah won, the king ruler of Hefer won. The king ruler of Aphek won, the king ruler of Lasharon won. The king ruler of Madon won, the king ruler of Hazor won. The king ruler of Shimron won, the king ruler of Ashaph won. The king ruler of Tanakh won, the king ruler of Megiddo won. The king ruler of Kedesh won, the king ruler of Jokneam of Carmel won. The king ruler of Dor in the coast of Dor won, the king ruler of the nations of Gilgal won. The king ruler of Tirzah won, all the king rulers 31. Joshua chapter 13. Now Joshua was old and stricken in years, and he exists, said to him, You are old and stricken in years, and there remains yet very much land to be possessed. This is the land that yet remains, all the borders of the Philistines, and all Jeshuri, from Seir which is before Egypt, even to the borders of Ekron northward, which is counted to the Canaanite 5 lords of the Philistines, the Gazathites and the Ashdothites, the Ashkelonites, the Gittites and the Ekronites, also the Avites. From the south all the land of the Canaanites and Mira that is beside the Sidonians, to Aphek, to the borders of the Amorites, the land of the Giblites and all Lebanon, toward the sunrise from Balgad under Mount Hermon to the entering into Hamath, all the inhabitants of the hill country, from Lebanon to Misrephothmaim, and all the Sidonians, them will I drive out from before the children of Israel, only divide you it by lot to the Israelites for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh, with whom the Reubenites and the Gadites have received their inheritance, which Moses gave them beyond Jordan eastward, even as Moses the servant worker of Textus gave them, from Aroer that is upon the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, and all the plain of Medeba to Divon, and all the cities of Sihon king ruler of the Amorites, which reigned in Heshbon to the border of the children of Ammon, and Gilead and the border of the Jeshurites and Muchathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan to Salcah, all the kingdom rule of Og in Bashan, which reigned in Ashtaroth and in Edrei, who remained of the remnant of the giants, because these did Moses strike and cast them out. Nevertheless the children of Israel expelled not the Jeshurites nor the Muchathites, but the Jeshurites and the Muchathites dwell among the Israelites until this day. Only to the tribe of Levi he gave none inheritance, the offerings of he exists supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel, made by fire, are their inheritance, as he said to them. Moses gave to the tribe of the children of Reuben inheritance according to their families. Their coast was from Aroer that is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is in the midst of the river, and all the plain by Medeba, Heshbon and all her cities that are in the plain, Dibon and Bamithbal and Beth-Palmeon, and Jahaza and Kedemoth and Mephoth, and Kirjataim and Sibmah and Zareth-Shahar in the mount of the valley, and Beth-Peor and Ashdeth-Bizcah and Beth-Jeshimoth, and all the cities of the plain, and all the kingdom rule of Sihon king ruler of the Amorites, which reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses struck with the princes of Midian, Evi and Rechem and Zur and Hur and Rebab, which were dukes of Sihon dwelling in the country. Balaam also the son of Beor the diviner did the children of Israel strike with the sword among them that were slain by them. The border of the children of Reuben was Jordan, and the border thereof. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuben after their families, the cities and the villages thereof. Moses gave inheritance also to the tribe of Gad, even to the children of Gad according to their families. Their coast was Jazer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half the land of the children of Ammon to Aroer that is before Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpeh and Betanim, and from Mahanaim to the border of Debir, in the valley Betharam and Bethnurah, and Succoth, and Zaphon, the rest of the kingdom rule of Sihon king ruler of Heshbon, Jordan and his border, even to the edge of the sea of Chinnereth, on the other side Jordan eastward. This is the inheritance of the children of Gad after their families, the cities and their villages. Moses gave inheritance to the half-tribe of Manasseh, and this was the possession of the half-tribe of the children of Manasseh by their families. Their coast was from Mahanaim all Bashan, all the kingdom rule of Og king ruler of Bashan, and all the towns of Jer, which are in Bashan 60 cities, half Gilead and Ashtaroth and Edrei, cities of the kingdom rule of Og in Bashan, were pertaining to the children of Machir the son of Manasseh, even to the 1/2 of the children of Machir, by their families. These are they whom Moses did distribute for inheritance in the plains of Moab on the other side Jordan, by Jericho eastward. But to the tribe of Levi Moses gave not any inheritance. He exists supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel was their inheritance, as he said to them. Joshua chapter 14. These are the countries which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the serving leader and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for inheritance to them, by lot with their inheritance, as he exists commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9 tribes and for the half-tribe, because Moses had given the inheritance of 2 tribes and a half-tribe on the other side Jordan. But to the Levites he gave none inheritance among them, because the children of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Therefore they gave no part to the Levites in the land save cities to dwell in with their suburbs for their cattle and for their substance. As he exists commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. Then the children of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said to him, "You know the thing that he who exists said to Moses the man of the supreme authority, mighty creator, concerning me and you in KJV. 40 years old was I when Moses the servant worker of he exists sent me from KJV to spy out the land, and I brought him word again as it was in my inner thinking center. Nevertheless my brothers that went up with me made the inner thinking center of the people group melt. But I wholly followed he exists, my supreme authority, mighty creator." Moses swore on that day, saying, "Surely the land whereon your feet have trodden will be your inheritance and your children's forever, because you have wholly followed he exists, my supreme authority, mighty creator. Now look, he exists has kept me alive as he said these 45 years, even since he exists spoke this word to Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now look, I am this day 85 years old. As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me, as my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war, both to go out and to come in. Now therefore give me this mountain whereof he exists spoke in that day, because you heard in that day how the Anakims were there, and that the cities were great and fenced. If to be he exists will be with me, then I will be able to drive them out, as he exists said." Joshua blessed him, and gave to Caleb the son of Jephunneh Hebron for an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite to this day, because that he wholly followed he exists, supreme authority, mighty creator of Israel. The name of Hebron before was Kirjath Arba, which Arba was a great man among the Anakims, and the land had rest from war. Joshua chapter 15. This then was the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah, by their families, even to the border of Edom. The wilderness of Zin southward was the utmost part of the south coast. Their south border was from the shore of the salt sea, from the bay that looks southward. It went out to the south side to Mahakrabim, and passed along to Zin, and ascended up on the south side to KJV, and passed along to Hezron, and went up to Adar, and fetched a compass to Karka. From there it passed toward Asman, and went out to the river of Egypt. And the goings out of that coast were at the sea. This will be your south coast. The east border was the salt sea, even to the end of Jordan, and their border in the north quarter was from the bay of the sea, at the uttermost part of Jordan. The border went up to Beth-hoglah, and passed along by the north of Beth-araba, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan the son of Reuben. The border went up toward Debir from the valley of Achor, and so northward looking toward Gilgal, that is before the going up to Adamam, which is on the south side of the river. And the border passed toward the waters of Enshemish, and the goings out thereof were at Enrogel. The border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom to the south side of the Jebusite, the same is Jerusalem, and the border went up to the top of the mountain that lies before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is at the end of the valley of the giants northward. The border was drawn from the top of the hill to the fountain of the water of Nephtom, and went out to the cities of Mount Ephron, and the border was drawn to Bala, which is Kirjath-jearim. The border compassed from Bala westward to Mount Seir, and passed along to the side of Mount Jearim, which is Chesalon on the north side, and went down to Bethshemesh, and passed on to Timnah. The border went out to the side of Ekron northward, and the border was drawn to Shikron, and passed along to Mount Bala, and went out to Javneel. And the goings out of the border were at the sea. The west border was to the great sea, and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah round about according to their families. To Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of he who exists to Joshua, even the city of Arba the father of Anak, which city is Hebron. Caleb drove from there the 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai and Ahiman, and Talmai the children of Anak. He went up from there to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir before was Kirjath-sepher. Caleb said, He that strikes Kirjath-sepher and takes it to him will I give it Sah my daughter to wife. Othniel the son of Kenaz the brother of Caleb took it, and he gave him it Sah his daughter to wife. It happened as she came to him, that she moved him to ask of her father a field, and she lighted off her donkey. And Caleb said to her, What do you want? She answered, Give me a blessing. Because you have given me a south land, give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah according to their families. The uttermost cities of the tribe of the children of Judah toward the coast of Edom southward were Kabzeel and Eder and Jagur, and Kinnah and Dimana and Adada. and Kedesh, and Hazor, and Ithnan, Ziph, and Telem, and Beloth, and Hazor Hadada, and Kirioth, and Hezron, which is Hazor, Amam, and Shema, and Maladah, and Hazargada, and Heshman, and Bethbalat, and Hazar Shual, and Beersheba, and Bizdothja, Bala, and Eam, and Azim, and Eltalad, and Chisel, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Madmana, and Sunsana, and Lebaoth, and Shilhim, and Ain, and Rimmon. All the cities are 29 with their villages. In the valley Ashal, and Zoria, and Ashna, and Zano, and Enganim, Tapua, and Anam, Jarmuth, and Adullam, Sako, and Azka, and Sharaim, and Adatim, and Jedera, and Jederotim, 14 cities with their villages. Zenan, and Hadasha, and Migdalgad, and Dilian, and Mizpeh, and Joktheel, Lachish, and Bozgath, and Eglon, and Cabin, and Lomam, and Kithlish, and Jederoth, Bethdagon, and Nama, and Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages. Libnah, and Ether, and Ashan, and Chifto, and Ashna, and Nezib, and Kala, and Ichsib, and Mersha, 9 cities with their villages. Ekron with her towns and her villages. From Ekron even to the sea, all that lay near Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod with her towns and her villages. Gaza with her towns and her villages, to the river of Egypt and the great sea and the border thereof. In the mountains Shamir, and Jatir, and Sako, and Dana, and Kirjath-Zenoh, which is Debir, and Anab, and Eshemo, and Anim, and Goshen, and Hulon, and Jilo, 11 cities with their villages. Arab, and Duma, and Eshan, and Janam, and Beth-Tapua, and Aphekah, and Hunta, and Kirjath-Arba, which is Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities with their villages. Mount Carmel, and Ziph, and Juttah, and Jezreel, and Joktim, and Zano, Cain, Jiva, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Halhol, Bethsur, and Jedor, and Marath, and Bethanoth, and Eltekon, 6 cities with their villages. Kirjathbal, which is Kirjath-Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness Betharabah, Midden, and Sekaka, and Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and En-Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah at Jerusalem to this day. Joshua chapter 16. The lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho to the water of Jericho, on the east to the wilderness that goes up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel. It goes out from Bethel to Luz and passes along to the borders of Archai to Ataroth. It goes down westward to the coast of Japhleti, to the coast of Beth-Horon the Nether, and to Jezer, and the goings out thereof are at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took their inheritance. The border of the children of Ephraim according to their families was thus. Even the border of their inheritance on the east side was Ataroth-Adar to Beth-Horon the upper. The border went out toward the sea to Michmeth on the north side, and the border went about eastward to Tanath-Shiloh, and passed by it on the east to Janohah. It went down from Janohah to Ataroth and to Norath, and came to Jericho, and went out at Jordan. The border went out from Tapua westward to the river Cana, and the goings out thereof were at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. The separate cities for the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. They drove not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Jezer, but the Canaanites dwell among the Ephraimites to this day and serve under tribute. Joshua chapter 17. There was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, because he was the firstborn of Joseph, to Machir the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war, therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Helek, and for the children of Asriel, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hefer, and for the children of Shemida. These were the male children of Manasseh the son of Joseph by their families. But Zelophehad the son of Hefer the son of Gilead the son of Machir the son of Manasseh had no sons, but daughters, and these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, and Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They came near before Eleazar the serving leader, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the rulers, saying, He exists, commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brothers. Therefore, according to the commandment of He exists, He gave them an inheritance among the brothers of their father. There fell 10 portions to Manasseh beside the land of Gilead, and Bashan, which were on the other side Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. The coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Michmethah that lies before Shechem, and the border went along on the right hand to the inhabitants of Tappuah. Now Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. The coast descended to the river Kana southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim, or among the cities of Manasseh, the coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river, and the goings out of it were at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea is his border. And they met together in Asher on the north, and in Issachar on the east. Manasseh had in Issachar, and in Asher Bethshean, and her towns, and Iblim, and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor, and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor, and her towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh, and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo, and her towns, even 3 countries. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. Yet it happened, when the children of Israel grew strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. The children of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, Why have you given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people? Because he exists has blessed me until now. Joshua answered them, If you be a great people, then get you up to the wood country, and cut down for yourself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for you. The children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bethshean, and her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. Joshua spoke to the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, You are a great people, and have great power. You will not have one lot only, but the mountain will be yours, because it is a wood, and you will cut it down, and the goings out of it will be yours, because you will drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. Joshua chapter 18. The whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there, and the land was subdued before them. There remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes, which had not yet received their inheritance. Joshua said to the children of Israel, How long are you slack to go to possess the land, which he exists, supreme authority, mighty, creator of your fathers, has given you? Give out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them, and they will rise, and go through the land, and describe it according to the inheritance of them, and they will come again to me. They will divide it into 7 parts. Judah will abide in their coast on the south, and the house of Joseph will abide in their coasts on the north. You will therefore describe the land into 7 parts, and bring the description here to me, that I may cast lots for you here before he exists, our supreme authority, mighty creator. But the Levites have no part among you, because the serving leader work of he exists is their inheritance, and Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond Jordan on the east, which Moses the servant worker of he exists gave them. The men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk through the land, and describe it, and come again to me, that I may here cast lots for you before he exists in Shiloh. The men went and passed through the land, and described it by cities into 7 parts in a book, and came again to Joshua to the camp at Shiloh. Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before he exists, and there Joshua divided the land to the children of Israel according to their divisions. The lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the coast of their lot came forth between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph. Their border on the north side was from Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north side, and went up through the mountains westward, and the goings out thereof were at the wilderness of Bethaven. The border went over from there toward Luz to the side of Luz, which is Bethel southward, and the border descended to Atarothadar near the hill that lies on the south side of the nether Beth-horon. The border was drawn from there, and compassed the corner of the sea southward from the hill that lies before Beth-horon southward, and the goings out thereof were at Kirjathbaal, which is Kirjath-jearim, a city of the children of Judah. This was the west quarter. The south quarter was from the end of Kirjath-jearim, and the border went out on the west, and went out to the well of waters of Nephto. The border came down to the end of the mountain that lies before the valley of the son of Hinnom, and which is in the valley of the giants on the north, and descended to the valley of Hinnom to the side of Jebusi on the south, and descended to Enrogel. It was drawn from the north, and went forth to Enshemish, and went forth toward Jeliloth, which is opposite the going up of Adamam, and descended to the stone of Bohan the son of Reuben. It passed along toward the side over against Araba northward, and went down to Araba. The border passed along to the side of Beth-hogel northward, and the outgoings of the border were at the north bay of the Salt Sea at the south end of Jordan. This was the south coast. Jordan was the border of it on the east side. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin by the coasts thereof round about according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin according to their families were Jericho and Beth-hoglah, and the valley of Keziz, and Beth-araba, and Zemaraim, and Bethel, and Adam, and Para, and Ophrah, and Chephar-Hammoni, and Ophni, and Gaba, 12 cities with their villages, Jibon, and Ramah, and Beeroth, and Mizpeh, and Chephirah, and Mazah, and Rechem, and Urpeel, and Taralah, and Zelah-eloth, and Jebusi, which is Jerusalem, Jibath, and Kirjath, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Joshua chapter 19. The second lot came forth to Simon, even for the tribe of the children of Simon according to their families, and their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. They had in their inheritance Beersheba or Sheba, and Moladah, and Hazar-shual, and Bala, and Azan, and Eltolad, and Bethel, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Beth-markaboth, and Hazar-susa, and Beth-lebaoth, and Sharuhan, 13 cities and their villages, Ain-rimmon, and Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities and their villages, and all the villages that were round about these cities, to Baalath-beer-ramoth of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Simon according to their families. Out of the portion of the children of Judah was the inheritance of the children of Simon, because the part of the children of Judah was too much for them. Therefore the children of Simon had their inheritance within the inheritance of them. The third lot came up for the children of Zebulun according to their families, and the border of their inheritance was to Sarid. Their border went up toward the sea and Marilah, and reached to Davesheth, and reached to the river that is before Jokneam, turned from Sarid eastward toward the sunrise to the border of Kisloth-Tabor, and then goes out to Dabarath, and goes up to Japhia. From there passes on along on the east to Gittah-Hefer to Itach-Hezin, and goes out to Rimmon-Methor-Tani. The border compassed it on the north side to Hanathan, and the outgoings thereof are in the valley of Jithal, and Katath, and Nahal, and Shimron, and Idal, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Zebulun according to their families, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out to Issachar for the children of Issachar according to their families. Their border was toward Jezreel, and Chesulloth, and Shunem, and Haphraim, and Shihon, and Anharath, and Rabbath, and Kishon, and Debez, and Remath, and Engannim, and Enhada, and Bethbazes. The coast reaches to Tabor, and Shahazimah, and Bethshemesh, and the outgoings of their border were at Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Issachar according to their families, the cities and their villages. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families. Their border was Helkath, and Haliah, and Beten, and Chath, and Elamelech, and Amad, and Mesheel, and reaches to Carmel westward, and to Shihor-Libnath, turns toward the sunrise to Beth-dagon, and reaches to Zebulun, and to the valley of Jiphtahel toward the north side of Bethemech, and Neel, and goes out to Cabul on the left hand, and Hebron, and Rehob, and Hammon, and Cana, even to Great Sidon. The border turns to Ramah, and to the strong city Tyre, and the border turns to Hassa, and the outgoings thereof are at the sea from the coast to Ichzib, Ummah also, and Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out to the children of Naphtali, even for the children of Naphtali according to their families. Their coast was from Helah, from Alan to Zonanim, and Adami Nekeb, and Jabneel to Lachum, and the outgoings thereof were at Jordan. The border turns westward to Esnith-Tabor, and goes out from there to Hukkok, and reaches to Zebulun on the south side, and reaches to Asher on the west side. and to Judah upon Jordan toward the sunrise. The fenced cities are Ziddim, Zer, and Hamath, Rakath, and Chinnereth, and Adamah, and Ramah, and Hazor, and Kedesh, and Edrei, and Hazor, and Iron, and Migdal Haram, and Bethanath, and Bethshemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Naphtali according to their families, the cities, and their villages. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the children of Dan according to their families. The coast of their inheritance was Zorah, and Eshel, and Ershemesh, and Shalabin, and Ajalon, and Jethlah, and Elon, and Thimmath, and Akron, and Eltekeh, and Gibbethon, and Baalath, and Jehud, and Benibarak, and Gathrimmon, and Mejarkon, and Rakan with the border before Japho. The coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them, therefore the children of Dan went up to fight against Leshem, and took it, and struck it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Leshem Dan after the name of Dan their father. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan according to their families, these cities with their villages. When they had made an end of dividing the land for inheritance, by their coasts the children of Israel gave an inheritance to Joshua the son of Nun among them. According to the word of he exists, they gave him the city, which he asked, even Timnath-serah in Mount Ephraim, and he built the city, and dwelt therein. These are the inheritances, which Eleazar the serving leader, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel divided for an inheritance, by lot in Shiloh before he exists at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So they made an end of dividing the country. Joshua chapter 20. He exists spoke to Joshua, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Appoint out for you cities of refuge, whereof I spoke to you by the hand of Moses, that the slayer that kills any person unawares and unwittingly may flee there, and they will be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When he that does flee to one of those cities will stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and will declare his cause in the ears of the elders of that city, they will take him into the city to them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. If the avenger of blood pursue after him, then they will not deliver the slayer up into his hand, because he struck his neighbor unwittingly, and hated him not before a time. He will dwell in that city until he stand before the congregation for fair judgment, and until the death of the high serving leader that will be in those days. Then will the slayer return and come to his own city, and to his own house, to the city from where he fled. They appointed Kedesh in Galilee, in Mount Naphtali, and Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and Kirjath Arba, which is Hebron, in the mountain of Judah, on the other side Jordan. By Jericho easter they assigned Bezer in the wilderness, upon the plain out of the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead out of the tribe of Gad, and Golan and Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities appointed for all the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourns among them, that whoever kills any person at unawares might flee there and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stood before the congregation. Joshua chapter 21. Then came near the heads of the fathers of the Levites to Eleazar the serving leader, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. They spoke to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan, saying, He exists commanded by the hand of Moses to give us cities, to dwell in with their suburbs for our cattle. The children of Israel gave to the Levites out of their inheritance at the commandment of He exists these cities and their suburbs. The lot came out for the families of the Kohathites and the children of Aaron the serving leader, which were of the Levites, had by lot out of the tribe of Judah, and out of the tribe of Simon, and out of the tribe of Benjamin 13 cities. The rest of the children of Kohath had by lot out of the families of the tribe of Ephraim, and out of the tribe of Dan, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh 10 cities. The children of Jershon had by lot out of the families of the tribe of Issachar, and out of the tribe of Asher, and out of the tribe of Naphtali, and out of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan 13 cities. The children of Merari, by their families, had out of the tribe of Reuben, and out of the tribe of Gad, and out of the tribe of Zebulun 12 cities. The children of Israel gave by lot to the Levites these cities with their suburbs as he exists, commanded by the hand of Moses. They gave out of the tribe of the children of Judah, and out of the tribe of the children of Simon these cities, which are here mentioned by name, which the children of Aaron, being of the families of the Kohathites who were of the children of Levi, had, because theirs was the first lot. They gave them the city of Arba the father of Anak, which city is Hebron in the hill country of Judah, with the suburbs thereof round about it. But the fields of the city and the villages thereof gave they to Caleb the son of Jephunneh for his possession. Thus they gave to the children of Aaron the serving leader Hebron with her suburbs to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Libnah with her suburbs, and Jadir with her suburbs, and Eshtemoa with her suburbs, and Holland with her suburbs, and Dibia with her suburbs, and Ain with her suburbs, and Jeddah with her suburbs, and Bethshemesh with her suburbs. 9 cities out of those 2 tribes. Out of the tribe of Benjamin, Jibon with her suburbs, Jeba with her suburbs, Anathoth with her suburbs, and Almon with her suburbs. 4 cities. All the cities of the children of Aaron the serving leaders were 13 cities with their suburbs. The families of the children of Kohath the Levites, which remained of the children of Kohath, even they had the cities of their lot out of the tribe of Ephraim. They gave them Shechem with her suburbs in Mount Ephraim to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Jezer with her suburbs, and Kibzaim with her suburbs, and Bethhoron with her suburbs. 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, Eltekeh with her suburbs, Gibbethon with her suburbs, Ajalon with her suburbs, Gathrimmon with her suburbs. 4 cities. Out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Tanakh with her suburbs, and Gathrimmon with her suburbs. 2 cities. All the cities were 10 with their suburbs for the families of the children of Kohath that remained. To the children of Gershon of the families of the Levites out of the other half tribe of Manasseh they gave Golan and Bashan with her suburbs to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Bishra with her suburbs. 2 cities. Out of the tribe of Issachar, Kishon with her suburbs, Dabir with her suburbs, Jarmuth with her suburbs, and Ganim with her suburbs. 4 cities. Out of the tribe of Asher, Mishal with her suburbs, Abdon with her suburbs, Helkath with her suburbs, and Rehob with her suburbs. 4 cities. Out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh in Galilee with her suburbs to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Hamathor with her suburbs, and Carton with her suburbs. 3 cities. All the cities of the Gershonites according to their families were 13 cities with their suburbs. To the families of the children of Merari the rest of the Levites out of the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with her suburbs, Karta with her suburbs, Timnah with her suburbs, Nahal with her suburbs. 4 cities. Out of the tribe of Reuben, Bezer with her suburbs, and Jahaziah with her suburbs, Kedemoth with her suburbs, and Mephoth with her suburbs. 4 cities. Out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead with her suburbs to be a city of refuge for the slayer, and Mahanaim with her suburbs, Heshbon with her suburbs, Jazer with her suburbs. 4 cities in all. So all the cities for the children of Merari by their families, which were remaining of the families of the Levites, were by their lot 12 cities. All the cities of the Levites within the possession of the children of Israel were 48 cities with their suburbs. These cities were every one with their suburbs round about them. Thus were all these cities. He exists gave to Israel all the land which he swore to give to their fathers, and they possessed it and dwelt therein. He exists gave them rest all around according to all that he swore to their fathers, and there stood not a man of all their enemies before them. He exists delivered all their enemies into their hand. There failed not anything of any good thing which he exists had spoken to the house of Israel. All happened. Joshua chapter 22. Then Joshua called the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh. He said to them, You have kept all that Moses the servant worker of he exists commanded you, and have listened to my voice in all that I commanded you. You have not left your brothers these many days to this day, but have kept the charge of the commandment of he exists your supreme authority, mighty Creator. Now he exists your supreme authority, mighty Creator has given rest to your brothers, as he promised them. Therefore now return you and get you to your tents and to the land of your possession, which Moses the servant worker of he exists gave you on the other side Jordan. But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the instruction law, which Moses the servant worker of he exists charged you to love he exists your supreme authority, mighty Creator, and to walk in all his travel paths, and to keep his commands, and to cling to him, and to serve him with all your inner thinking center, and with all your life breath. So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their tents. Now to the one half of the tribe of Manasseh Moses had given possession in Bashan, but to the other half thereof Joshua gave among their brothers on this side Jordan westward. And when Joshua sent them away also to their tents, then he blessed them. He spoke to them, saying, Return with much riches to your tents, and with very much cattle, with silver, and with gold, and with bronze, and with iron, and with very much garment. Divide the spoil of your enemies, with your brothers, the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh returned, and departed from the children of Israel out of Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the country of Gilead, to the land of their possession, whereof they were possessed according to the word of He exists, by the hand of Moses. When they came to the borders of Jordan that are in the land of Canaan, the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh built there an altar by Jordan, a great altar to see to. The children of Israel heard say, Look, the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have built an altar opposite the land of Canaan in the borders of Jordan, at the passage of the children of Israel. When the children of Israel heard of it, the whole congregation of the children of Israel gathered themselves together at Shiloh to go up to war against them. The children of Israel sent to the children of Reuben, and to the children of Gad, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh into the land of Gilead, Phinehas the son of Eleazar the serving leader, with him 10 princes of each chief house, a prince throughout all the tribes of Israel. And each one was a head of the house of their fathers among the thousands of Israel. They came to the children of Reuben, and to the children of Gad, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh to the land of Gilead, and they spoke with them, saying, Thus says the whole congregation of He exists. What wrong step is this that you have committed against the supreme authority, mighty Creator of Israel, to turn away this day from following He exists, in that you have built you an altar, that you might rebel this day against He exists? Is the wrongdoing of Peor too little for us, from which we are not cleansed until this day, although there was a plague in the congregation of He exists? But that you must turn away this day from following He exists, and it will be seeing you rebel today against He exists, that tomorrow He will be angry with the whole congregation of Israel. Notwithstanding, if the land of your possession be unclean, then pass you over to the land of the possession of He exists, where He exists, tabernacle dwells, and take possession among us. But rebel not against He exists, nor rebel against us in building you an altar beside the altar of He exists, our supreme authority, mighty Creator. Did not Achan the son of Zerah commit a wrong step in the devoted thing, and wrath fell on all the congregation of Israel, and that man perished not alone in his wrongdoing? Then the children of Reuben, and the children of Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh answered and said to the heads of the thousands of Israel, He exists, supreme authority, mighty Creator of supreme authorities. He exists, supreme authority, mighty Creator of supreme authorities. He knows, and Israel He will know, if it be in rebellion, or if in rebellious wrong against He exists. Do not save us this day, that we have built us an altar to turn from following He exists, or if to offer thereon burnt offering or grain offering, or if to offer peace offerings thereon, let He exists Himself require it. If we have not rather done it, for fear of this thing, saying, In time to come your children might speak to our children, saying, What have you to do with He exists, supreme authority, mighty Creator of Israel? Because He exists, has made Jordan a border between us and you children of Reuben and children of Gad, you have no part in He exists. So will your children make our children cease from fearing He exists. Therefore we said, Let us now prepare to build us an altar, not for burnt offering nor for sacrifice, but that it may be a witness between us and you and our generations after us, that we might do the service of He exists before Him with our burnt offerings and with our sacrifices and with our peace offerings, that your children may not say to our children in time to come, You have no part in He exists. Therefore said we that it will be, when they should so say to us or to our generations in time to come, that we may say again, Look, the pattern of the altar of He exists, which our fathers made not for burnt offerings nor for sacrifices, but it is a witness between us and you. Far be it from us that we should rebel against He exists, and turn this day from following He exists, to build an altar for burnt offerings, for grain offerings, or for sacrifices beside the altar of He exists, our supreme authority, mighty Creator, that is before His tabernacle. When Phinehas the serving leader, and the princes of the congregation, and heads of the thousands of Israel which were with him, heard the words that the children of Reuben and the children of Gad and the children of Manasseh spoke, it pleased them. Phinehas the son of Eleazar the serving leader said to the children of Reuben and to the children of Gad and to the children of Manasseh, This day we perceive that He exists is among us, because you have not committed this wrong step against He exists. Now you have delivered the children of Israel out of the hand of He exists. Phinehas the son of Eleazar the serving leader, And the princes returned from the children of Reuben and from the children of Gad out of the land of Gilead to the land of Canaan to the children of Israel, and brought them word again. The thing pleased the children of Israel, and the children of Israel blessed the supreme authority, mighty Creator, and did not intend to go up against them in battle to destroy the land, for the children of Reuben and Gad dwelt. The children of Reuben and the children of Gad called the altar Ed, because it will be the witness between us that he exists, is the supreme authority, mighty Creator. Joshua chapter 23. It happened a long time after that he exists had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, that Joshua grew old and stricken in age. Joshua called for all Israel and for their elders, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said to them, I am old and stricken in age. You have seen all that he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, has done to all these nations. Because of you, because he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, is he that has fought for you. Look, I have divided to you by lot these nations that remain to be an inheritance for your tribes, from Jordan with all the nations that I have cut off, even to the great sea westward. He exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator. He will expel them from before you and drive them from out of your sight, and you will possess their land as he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, has promised to you. Be you therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the instruction law of Moses, that you turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left, that you come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their supreme authorities, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves to them, but cling to he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, as you have done to this day. Because he exists, has driven out from before you great nations and strong, but as for you no man has been able to stand before you to this day. One man of you will chase 1,000, because he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, he it is that fights for you as he has promised you. Take good heed therefore to yourselves that you love he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator. Else, if you do in any wise go back and cling to the remnant of these nations, these that remain among you, and will make marriages with them and go into them, and they to you, know for a certainty that he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they will be snares and traps to you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, has given you. Look, this day I am going the travel path of all the land, and you know in all your inner thinking center and in all your life breath, that not one thing has failed of all the good things which he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, spoke concerning you, all are come to pass to you, and not one thing has failed thereof. Therefore it will come to pass, that as all good things are come upon you which he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, promised you, so will he exists bring upon you all evil things, until he has destroyed you from off this good land which he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, has given you. When you have transgressed the binding agreement of he exists, your supreme authority, mighty Creator, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other supreme authorities, and bowed yourselves to them, then will the anger of he exists be kindled against you, and you will perish quickly from off the good land which he has given to you. Joshua chapter 24. Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called for the elders of Israel, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers. And they presented themselves before the supreme authority, mighty Creator. Joshua said to all the people group thus, as he exists, supreme authority, mighty Creator of Israel, your fathers dwelt on the other side of the flood in old time, even Terah the father of Abraham and the father of Nahor, and they served other supreme authorities. I took your father Abraham from the other side of the flood, and led him throughout all the land of Canaan, and multiplied his seed, and gave him Isaac. I gave to Isaac Jacob and Esau, and I gave to Esau Mount Seir to possess it. But Jacob and his children went down into Egypt. I sent Moses also and Aaron, and I plagued Egypt according to that which I did among them. And afterward I brought you out. I brought your fathers out of Egypt And you came to the sea, and the Egyptians pursued after your fathers with chariots and horsemen to the Red Sea. When they cried to He exists, He put darkness between you and the Egyptians and brought the sea upon them and covered them, and your eyes have seen what I have done in Egypt. And you dwelt in the wilderness a long season, and I brought you into the land of the Amorites, which dwelt on the other side Jordan, and they fought with you. And I gave them into your hand, that you might possess their land, and I destroyed them from before you. Then Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, arose and warred against Israel, and sent and called Balaam the son of Beor to curse you. But I would not listen to Balaam, therefore he blessed you still. So I delivered you out of his hand, and you went over Jordan, and came to Jericho, and the men of Jericho fought against you, the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I delivered them into your hand. And I sent the hornet before you, which drove them out from before you, even the 2 kings of the Amorites, but not with your sword, nor with your bow. And I have given you a land for which you did not labor, and cities which you built not, and you dwell in them. Of the vineyards and olive yards which you planted not do you eat. Now therefore fear He exists, and serve Him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the mighty authorities, which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve you He exists. And if it seem evil to you to serve He exists, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the mighty authorities, which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the mighty authorities of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve He exists. And the people answered and said, May it not happen that we should forsake He exists, to serve other mighty authorities. For He exists, our supreme authority, mighty Creator. He it is that brought us up and our fathers out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way wherein we went, and among all the people through whom we passed. And He exists drove out from before us all the people, even the Amorites which dwelt in the land. Therefore will we also serve He exists, for He is our supreme authority, mighty Creator. And Joshua said to the people, You cannot serve He exists, for He was in set apart supreme authority, mighty Creator. He is a jealous supreme authority, mighty Creator. He will not forgive your rebellious wrongs nor your wrongdoings. If you forsake He exists, and serve strange mighty authorities, then He will turn and do you hurt, and consume you, after that He has done you good. And the people said to Joshua, No, but we will serve He exists. And Joshua said to the people, You are witnesses against yourselves that you have chosen you He exists, to serve Him. And they said, We are witnesses. Now therefore put away, said he, the strange mighty authorities which are among you, and incline your inner thinking center to He exists, supreme authority, mighty Creator of Israel. And the people said to Joshua, He exists, our supreme authority, mighty Creator will we serve, and His voice will we obey. So Joshua made a binding agreement with the people that day, and set them a statute and an ordinance in Shechem. And Joshua wrote these words in the book of the law of supreme authority, mighty Creator, and took a great stone, and set it up there under an oak, that was by the sanctuary of He who exists. And Joshua said to all the people, Look, this stone shall be a witness to us, for it has heard all the words of He exists, which He spoke to us. It shall be therefore a witness to you, lest you deny your supreme authority, mighty Creator. So Joshua let the people depart, every human to his inheritance. It happened after these things, that Joshua the son of Nun, the servant worker of He who exists, died, being 110 years old. And they buried him in the border of his inheritance in Timnath-Serah, which is in Mount Ephraim, on the north side of the hill of Gosh. And Israel served He who exists all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders that overlived Joshua, and which had known all the works of He who exists that He had done for Israel. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor the father of Shechem for 100 pieces of silver, and it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph. And Eleazar the son of Aaron died, and they buried him in a hill that pertained to Phinehas his son, which was given him in Mount Ephraim.